Okay, so the next few videos are just going to be him meeting two of my dogs. Nothing exciting. They just did so well that I was very proud of them. But this is Boom, my 2-year-old Brittany, who's a lot more playful. He can be really vocal when he plays. Some dogs don't love it. But him and Rio do great. They don't play. Rio's not really interested in playing, but he definitely interacts with the dogs and is aware of them. He like sniffs them and doesn't completely ignore them. He's just not interested in like playing, which is totally fine. They communicate great together, so they have zero problems. Here's me letting my youngest out, my smallest and youngest out. She is bringing so much energy to the table. It's a lot.
Okay, thank you.
So you can see that Boom's kind of reaction towards Rio changes, because there's just a commotion and he wants to play now. Rio, see, it's very obvious that Rio's not interested in playing. He just wants me to throw the toy. But Boom doesn't rush him, keep going, keep picking at him. And then Rio does great with Penny. They're both interested in each other, but they're pretty, loose and relaxed. So everyone gets along really well, inside, outside. They do great. Okay, so here are the things that we're using for this nose work. Here's a tin. It has holes in it just so that the scent can go through easier. And then here is bowls. I just get them from the Dollar Tree, but they're just plastic bowls that I can get a whole bunch of, so I can use for the first half of scent work. Okay, so here we are. In one of these bowls is that little tin. And inside the tin are Q-tips soaked in 3 different scents. Again, I have to look them up. One is definitely birch, and the other 2, I'm not sure. But those are the 3 scents that we train dogs to recognize for the sport of scent work or nose work. People call it different things. Okay, so all I'm doing is I have that tin in one bowl, and I'm just trying to get him to make the connection that this smell means something, or these smells mean something. At the beginning, he doesn't know what we're really getting at, but generally when you put empty bowls in front of dogs, they stick their nose in them because they're used to food being in there. So it's really easy behavior to capture because it's their natural inclination. But you just make sure, I just make sure I'm marking when he puts his nose in the bowl with the scent. So you'll see here, after a few times of like, what's in these bowls? He's like, no food, not dinner. So he starts to default to these downs, which is fine because we're just going to take the bowls away. I'm going to represent them to see if he pops out of that down. He does not. My dog has this problem too. He defaults to downs. It's hard to get behaviors. Super easy fix. We're just going to take the bowls away. I'm going to toss a treat out so that he's on his feet. On his way back in is when I will present them. He will put his nose back in. And he does really, really well. He starts to click pretty much right around here. He'll start to click. He stalls out a few times, but I give him a few seconds to try to work it out. So the next time he comes in, I'm going to present the bowls. He goes to the right one right away, so he gets marked and treated for it. Okay, and you can notice that I did not rapidly throw the treats in like I had been doing, like I was supposed to be doing, because I wasn't ready. I am giving him a minute to see if he goes back to it so that I can correct my mistake. But he doesn't. Totally cool. Very normal for the stage. So I'm just going to restart. And there you go. And you can tell that my treating is very rapid. I want to make sure that he is keeping his nose in that bowl. It's going to be a behavior we work on later in this video where we want his nose to stay on the scent, because it's going to be part of his indication to us that he finds the scent later on in the sport. So we just do this a few more times. Like I said, so right here I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for him to, make a move. He doesn't. I remove the bowls and we just try again. There's kind of a sweet spot you kind of get into waiting see if he'll figure it out versus waiting too long and they get frustrated. He doesn't get frustrated at any point in this training session, but there's a point later on where I wait a little too long and I'll point out those kind of frustrations.
Very good.
Okay, so that one, he looked towards the bowl. I could hear a sniff So I took it because we're in the beginning. He had a lot of stall outs before, so I want to give him a win. So I took that one. And he seems to be stalling out a bit more, getting a little bored. So there's some toy play in here. Just kind of get him more excited, a little more amped up, and really reward that last, popping in the bowl.
Ready? Oopsie.
Okay, so I put the toy up, toss the treat out, keep him on his feet, not laying down, present the bowls, and we're doing back to where we were. And so this is the kind of thing we're going to be doing the whole first few sessions that we work on this. And in the next video, you'll see that I'm going to add an extra bowl. It's empty, of course, because I don't want to add 2 scents. We just want one bowl that smells. But he does really well. He's definitely thinking. You could tell that he's trying to figure out what I'm wanting and what's getting him treats.
Yes.
But he's doing really well.
Yes. Good boy. All done. That was really good. 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 That was...
Okay, so here's us working the next day. We start with the exact same thing. 2 bowls. The same bowl that had the scent in it still has a scent in it. And we're getting heavily rewarded for nose in bowl. Nose to scent kind of situation. I twist him up, kind of mix things up. That one, you'll see he went to the bowl he was at first, gave it a real sniff, and then moved on to the next bowl. So he's going to get a lot of treats for this one. That was really good work.
All done.
We like the idea of him smelling multiple things and making the choice to go to the one that is what we're supposed to be working on. So I'm going to keep doing this for quite a while. So right there, he sniffed. He isn't moving on, but I'm going to wait him out. And he eventually gets up and makes the right choice. So these are all really good, really important parts of the learning process, right? When he just goes to the right bowl every time, it's not really going to stick as much when he's like making mistakes, making those corrections on his own. And then the idea of what I'm asking him is really going to start to click. And you'll see that in the next few minutes. He's also doing a really great job ignoring the horrible whining in the back. Boom is up in his crate, and this is Boom's favorite thing to work on, so it's really hard for him to not be working on it. So he's doing great staying focused. Okay, right around here when I see him kind of shift positions and shift his body, I'm starting to realize it's at the very beginning of him getting frustrated, so we're going to take him away and just start over.
What's over?
Also, excuse my kids. They're around. But again, another great distraction for him, and he seems unfazed.
Yes.
The other thing that you'll see that I'm going to start working on, so in this clip, I added the 3 bowls. You can't see it. You'll see it when I pick them up, but there is one in front. There it is. He knocked it when he ran. So I have 3 bowls out now, and he does amazing with it. He does just as good as he did with the 2 out. There's honestly a lot more less laying down, stalling out, because he's walking around to this triangle of bowls. So I really was pleased with that. But the other thing you'll notice that I'm going to start doing in a minute is my treating is going to slow down. It's going to pause at some points. Then it's going to pick back up. And what I'm wanting him to do is, even though there's not constant food being fed into the bowl, I want to kind of prolong that nose to scent. So he's out of treats. He's going to pop out and pop back in, and he's going to get rewarded for that. We want them to go back to the scent. We want them to stay on the scent. He did at the very end there, just the most beautiful, like, nose down, eyes up sort of situation. That's like the perfect indicating position, I guess you could say. This one's a terrible because one of the bowls is out of the shot. So we have a stall out, so I'm just gonna wait a second.
Yes.
The waiting paid off, and he goes to this one. Again, it's out of shot, so it's kind of a bad video. But
All done. Find it.
okay, so you'll see in this next part that I'm taking away the 3 bowls, and we're going back to 2. We're going back to a 2-bowl system, easier, a step back, because we are adding a new cue, a verbal cue. So as he approaches the bowl,
Search. Yes.
I will just say search. That's the word me and my dog use. We can definitely change it later on. It's not a huge deal, or it's not a big problem to change. But we're just going to start with that.
All done.
And search is essentially just what we're going to use when we're indicating to him that we're ready for him to find the smell.
Search.
So he doesn't know what it is right now, but he knows we've been doing something. He's been really successful with it. So we're just going to start introducing a verbal cue for him to attach to the behavior that he already knows or is learning. But he does great. He does just as well with the verbal cue. He doesn't like take a step back and struggle more. So it was really successful. You'll also notice that I'm slowing my treating down some of the rounds. Not all of them. Some of them I'm still doing quite rapid treating. But I want to mix it in and kind of get him used to
All done. Find it.
having to wait or have a prolonged time where he's doing nose to scent without getting the food, but holding that behavior. But if I jump straight to that, I'm going to lose his interest. So that's kind of why I swap back and forth between rapid treating and little breaks in between, rewarding when his nose goes back. But he does really well. So you'll see he went to this and he's getting treated. It's hard to see, but I'm doing rapid treating. I slow down in a second here. He takes his nose out and pops it right back in. That is right at this point just as acceptable as keeping his nose glued into the bowl.
Empty. All done. Find it.
Okay, so that one I use as a time to restart. We're gonna try again.
Search. Yes.
Okay, there we go. He went in for it. Okay, so that one, some treats jumped out, so that's a little different.
Find it.
I'm tossing it back
All
out.
done. Find
And
it.
then right there's my favorite part, because I forgot to say all done and then toss the treat out, find it, and he just didn't go, and it made me laugh because I was like, you're so smart. He's like, no, you didn't say all done. And I'm no success with these treats staying in the bowl. My mess up, we kind of got off a pattern, but he put his nose back in, so that was great. But he's so smart. He's doing really well. It's really fun to listen to